What's up, YouTube? It's C904, and I'm back with another TF Critic review. Today we're looking at Transformers Dark of the Moon, the game. And of course I have Xbox 360, so all of my experience comes from that version of the game, which is obvious by all of the green plastic here that they use on the Xbox cases. So yeah, Dark of the Moon. If you play War for Cybertron, the gameplay is very similar. The characters here, when you transform, they go into a hybrid style instead of going straight to vehicle form, which is very similar to the hovercraft state they used in the War for Cybertron. Whereas once you're in this stealth force mode, you have access to more weapons. Each stealth force mode has 2 weapons. There's usually a machine gun type weapon, and then a rocket or grenade weapon. Then once you actually use the drive button, the vehicle will convert. It will convert into its vehicle form, and then you can drive or fly, whichever character you are. Except for the tanks. Tanks don't have a stealth force mode. They just go straight to their tank mode. Other than that, visually, they did a great job. You know, War for Cybertron is more cartoonish style. The Dark of the Moon is more realistic, and I think they did a great job with the scale between the robots and the buildings and the people around them. Let's see, the audio. They did a great job with the audio, transformation sound effects, all the sound effects for the weapons, and all the interactions. I thought they did a great job. They paid a lot of attention to detail, because once you get to the beautiful jungle scenes, there are a lot of animal sound effects in the background that they didn't have to add, but they did. So I appreciated that. The gameplay. The gameplay is very solid. You know, the computer, they aren't as dumb as they were in War for Cybertron. Whereas one point I would say, the cloaking ability. In War for Cybertron, when you cloaked, the enemies would stop cold. They wouldn't fire, they would just stand there looking stupid. In Dark of the Moon, if you cloak, they know you're still there. They'll just search for you. And if you move too fast, you become more, the faster you move, the less cloaked you are. The more visible you become, the faster you move. And that's when they notice you and they'll start to fire in that area to try to hit you. So I thought that was nice. They upgraded the AI, and I really appreciate it. It was too easy cloaking, getting away from enemies, but in Dark of the Moon they corrected that. Whereas when you're cloaked, if you go to a slow or creeping walk, then they can't see you. Other than that, the characters. Now Bumblebee, of course, he's still doing the bleep block blurp noise, which is, to me, it's very aggravating, especially when you're fighting and he's interacting with other characters and they can understand what he's saying, but you can't, of course. The other characters are what you expect: Optimus, Ironhide, Megatron. They're still the same, Starscream. But there are a few new characters like Mirage, which online I believe someone was saying he's called Dino. He's called Mirage in the game, okay? Which is weird. He's not Mirage that you may remember from G1. Mirage in Dark of the Moon is a Class A asshole. He is not appreciative. He talks down to the humans. There's a stage with him where he's communicating with a human. He talks down to him. Someone dies trying to help him, and he is not apologetic at all. He doesn't appreciate it. He just takes what he needs and keeps moving. Mirage is an interesting character. Shockwave, of course, is in the game, and when you complete the campaign, you unlock Ratchet and Shockwave for multiplayer. Shockwave in multiplayer cannot transform. He's stuck in his robot form, which to me is stupid. Why put him in the game? Only Transformer that can't transform. Granted, there's another stage with another Transformer. he can't transform until later in the stage once he scans a new vehicle form. There's another part where another transformer, he gets damaged and he can't transform to a certain part of the stage. But Shockwave has no alternate form in this game. The campaign, it's a nice story. It's a prequel, so it's not spoiling anything from the movie. There's nothing in the campaign that that you probably didn't already know, or it won't spoil anything for the movie. I'll say that, because any of the new characters that will be in the movie aren't in this game. There's a stage where you interact with Wheeljack, but you're only communicating with him through radio. You never get to see him. But the campaign is solid. It's solid, I'll say that. And multiplayer. The multiplayer has 3 modes: Team Deathmatch, Deathmatch, and Conquest, which is a King of the Hill type of game. The multiplayer, in my opinion, was pretty good. It's very well balanced. There's no character or class that will overpower the others. No matter what class you are, and no matter what class you're facing, you can still lose if you aren't good enough, or if the other person's better than you. Sometimes they get the drop on you, you have no chance at all. But it's more team-based, and I like that. It keeps the team together. The closer knit your team is, the better off you will be as surviving. There are 4 classes. There are the Scout classes, which are the vehicles. There's the Hunter class, which are the jets. The Commander class, which are the trucks. And the Warrior class, which are the tanks. Now, each character comes with a weapon and ability that's unique to that character, that you can't change. But you get to update, you get to add a second weapon and a secondary ability and 2 upgrade slots. As far as customization for the character itself, you either get to choose the character, or you can use that character's model in a custom rig and change to the colors, where you get to choose 2 colors for that character. The multiplayer is solid. It's a lot of fun, and it promotes teamwork, which a lot of online games I've played, there isn't a lot of teamwork, especially in the team death matches. People are just running around all over the place. Nobody's helping anybody. But in Dark of the Moon, you will learn to become a team player, because if you're by yourself and you run into 2 or 3 enemies, you're done. Unless you're really good, they're going to take you down pretty quickly. That's pretty much all for the game. I say overall, honestly speaking, I have to give it a 7 out of 10, and that's being generous, because I'm a Transformers fan, and I'm a huge fan of War for Cybertron. And coming into Dark of the Moon, I thought this would be War for Cybertron +1, but it isn't. And maybe that's why my rating of the game, my opinion of the game, isn't as high as maybe some others would be. Honestly, it should be a 6, maybe 6.5. But being a Transformers fan, it gets an extra point from me personally. Perhaps I expected too much from this game, and there's so much secrecy surrounding the movie that it almost cripples the game, because there's so many characters they can't put in the game. As a matter of fact, I can't really say that, because there are characters you will come across in the game that you can't use in the multiplayer. The campaign is ridiculously short. There's only 1 stage per character, and if you count the characters, if you count Laserbeak as a separate character, there are maybe 8 stages. Really 8 stages. You don't even get to replay the stage as another character from the opposite faction or anything. There's a straight through, and if you're like me and took Tuesday the 14th off to play this game, you were done with everything before the day was out. I was done with the campaign and got all 4 multiplayer classes to its max level of 20 before the day was done. That's ridiculous. It's too short. $60 for half of a game, and that's what I got. Half of a game. The campaign, though it's solid, it's short. And the way it ends, it seems like there's another mission coming, but then you get credits. There's like a meeting. They say, hey, I'm glad to see you. You need to go to this place to get this part, and we can move forward with our plans. And then the titles roll. I thought it was another mission. Really? And then the last boss battle, it wasn't even epic. It was fun, but it wasn't epic. It wasn't on a large scale. It was like, I'm fighting a guy, okay, I'm beating him up, then it ends, he runs away, and I go into this super mode, and I don't even get to use it. Really? You get a cinematic trailer, cinematic movie for an upgraded version of myself? Come on. The multiplayer, in my opinion, they leveled way too fast. And Wolf of Cybertron, the max level was 25, and it took, even if you missed out on the weekends where they had the ×2 and ×5, and I think there was one ×10 experience weekends, just playing with normal leveling up ability, it took months to get your characters to 25, and I had the max level was 20, and it was way too fast. They leveled up way too fast, and I was done before the night was out. It only took me like 3 hours. 3 hours of multiplayer, and all my levels were at 20. Maybe they changed it after the first day. I don't know, but maybe they realized they messed up and changed it afterwards. But Tuesday, when I played it, as of Tuesday the 14th, 3 hours, all four classes were at level 20, and that's the max. And there was no achievement for that. There was no extra mode to unlock with more challenges or something to get. There was nothing. Once you got to 20, that was it. You were done. And I'm disappointed. And I thought Dark of the Moon would replace War for Cybertron in my system, but it won't. I was right back playing War for Cybertron less than 3 days later. And I'm disappointed. It's a good game, but it's missing something. It's missing. It's like a half a game. $60, and you know in another month or two there are going to be more DLCs with characters and maps that were done when the game was released. And now we gotta pay more for it, and we already got half a game. So you're gonna end up spending $80 for 60% of a game. And that's what we get, 60%. After the DLCs, you have about 60% of the game. And you know what? Forget spoilers. Air Raid is in the game. You fight against him at Starscream, and you can't use him in the multiplayer. You get one freaking jet for the Autobots, and that's Breakaway. Breakaway was in Revenge of the Fallen in the game. And there are 2 other Autobot flyers that are with Breakaway, Air Raid, and another guy who doesn't even have a name, which is the same character model that was used for Aerialbot in Revenge of the Fallen's game. You don't get to use him or Air Raid. Why even put him in the game and not put him in the multiplayer? You know what's going to happen? You're going to have to pay for him in DLC. And that's just wrong. They're robbing us. We already spent enough on the figures, now we got to spend all our money on the game too, and DLCs? That's ridiculous. And I'm disappointed. And if I wasn't a Transformer fan, I'd take the game back. So in my opinion, rent it. Don't buy it, rent it. And you'll be done in 2 days. You rent it, 2 days, you're done. Take a Saturday and Sunday off, rent it, you're done with the game. And you'll never have to play it again. Because you know why? They'll only make DLCs, and they won't change the campaign. There will be no new missions. There's no escalation mode. There's nothing. And I'm disappointed. And I had high hopes for this game, and disappointed. I guess I'm back on War for Cybertron. So if you guys play War for Cybertron on 360, I'll see you on there. Take it easy.